What's up guys? Welcome to AnimeKouhai. If you'd like to help me out, please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel.
I had a lot on my mind, but once our conflict with the Empire was over, I could worry about everything. I made the decision to start by addressing the immediate issue after banishing all doubt from my thoughts. I was one of the 20 individuals present in the meeting room. Under Rigurd were the 4 seniors Rigurd, Rogurd, Lilina, and Rigurd. Kaijin, Vester, and Mjolmile were also present. Benimaru, Xian, Diablo, Gabel, Testarossa, Ultima, and Carrera were the 12 lordly guardians representatives. The remaining members of the group were Soi, Hakuro, Gapta, and, for good measure, Gadra. I intended to ask Gadra to show me around the Empire. Even I had to admit that the job wouldn't be simple, but since he would be the one most negatively impacted if something went wrong, I wanted him to do his share. Bernie offered to lead us as well, but I declined his offer to do so. He would only be a liability for us because he had lost all of his abilities. Gadra by himself suffices. Anyway. It seems like I've been in meetings non-stop, but there's no sense in whining right now. Our nation had become too large for me to manage everything on my own. Of course, as I say that, the main purpose of this meeting is for me to tell everyone what I've chosen to do. Shuna gave everyone tea as normal. She discreetly walked out of the room, and I started talking.
I've summoned you all in today to let you know about the choices I've made for the final battle with the Empire. But first, come on in.
There was no sense in rushing this because I had already decided who I would be bringing with me. I chose to present our messenger, Laplass, to everyone instead. Laplass had information about our plans to fight together, as was to be anticipated. In essence, the army encircling Dwargan's East City wanted us to assist them as they attacked the imperial capital. Guy had already informed me of that, and I had no objections, but I came to the conclusion that this would be a conflict between the elites on both sides rather than a battle of troops. I ultimately determined that I had to talk over the specifics with Yuki first because I didn't want to witness any civilian casualties. This is the reason I decided to quickly invite the clown to the conference. I'd already communicated with Yuki through Laplass. It had been scheduled for the afternoon of the following day. I explained to everyone in the room that although I really wished Laplass could have taken care of that for me, people had a hard time trusting him, so I decided against it. Trust, I was reminded yet again, is extremely essential.
Hello, my name is Laplass and I serve as Vice President of the Moderate Jesters, an organization of friendly women and men. Yuki sent me, so that's why I'm here today, you see.
Oh, man. Is it difficult for him to not exhibit suspicious behavior? And why did he decide to perform a little jig to himself at this specific time? He was still working as a courier, so I couldn't simply eject him. And I wasn't the only one who found this irritating. He appeared as though Soi was about to murder him. I understand how he feels, but he needs to be patient.
Soi, kindly put that kunai blade away.
Yes, sir.
He must also be handled carefully, I see. He humbly sat down again for me, but I wasn't yet ready to relax my defense. Just let's get this introduction over with.
Mr. Laplace is our current point of contact for Yuki, so that's good.
Just Laplace is fine, ya know.
Oh, is that it? Great, then. Anyway, tomorrow is the date of our appointment with Yuki. I know it's a little bit of a rush, but Laplace is supposedly going to take me there, so we don't have to be worried about travel time. The most important question is, who's going with me?
I was finally able to get down to business.
So I can only transport a total of 6 people. If you and I are must-haves, would you mind telling me which other 4 you'll bring, Lord Rimuru?
Even in the best case, I wouldn't have all of my top personnel on site, so I wanted to use as much force as I could. Ranga was still dozing off in my shade, and Geld was still asleep. Kumara, Zijin, and Adelman, the 3 members of the Labyrinth Gang, were said to have hunkered down in their various domains and weren't moving. Everyone's evolutionary slumber seemed to have lasted a very different amount of time. I suppose that's just the way the cookie breaks. I then took another look at the people who were accessible.
Benimaru, how are you feeling? I'd like to bring you along.
What, is he sick with an illness or something?
Laplace inquired, his gaze cautious. He'll undoubtedly find out eventually, but I wasn't in the mood to clarify everything to him.
I'm in good health. Actually in the best condition of my life.
Benimaru smiled bravely while maintaining his composure and disregarding Laplace entirely. At moments like this, I'm occasionally amazed at how much more capable he is than I will ever be. I admired him inwardly as I gave him a closer look, only to discover that he had switched species while I wasn't looking. He must have resolved issues with Momiji and Alvis, in a sense, because the evolution was now finished. Benimaru had actually spent 2 nights with each of his new wives in turn, according to what I learned afterward. I'm not sure whether I should applaud him for enduring that or just sit here writhing in my resentment. He had now given up his physical shape and reincarnated as a fully spiritual life form. He belonged to a race of elemental souls known as Flamesoul Ogre. He kept both the holy and evil attributes, like true dragons, making him resemble a chaos elemental, a simplified form of a true dragon. The attribute, flame, is an improved version of fire, and both true dragons and chaos elementals could take on different forms. Earth, water, fire, wind, and space make up the natural family of elements, or the 5 major attributes. As a general guideline, fire defeats earth, water defeats fire, wind defeats water, space defeats wind, and earth defeats space. You can visualize the disputes as fire scorching the earth, water putting out the fire, wind scattering the water, space obstructing the wind, and earth taking up space. Along with these 5 main characteristics, there are also the 2 opposing characteristics of light and darkness, as well as time, which lives above all the other characteristics and is unconstrained by any of them. Ifrit and other elemental spirits are constrained by these physical rules. They represent the laws that govern the universe, or to put it another way, there are 8 different kinds of these embodiments. The attributes of light and darkness are somewhat unique, with light coming from angels and darkness from demons. Technically speaking, if you track the origins of the angels and demons I am aware of so far, they could be referred to as elemental spirits. If I asked, someone like Diablo could fill me in on more details, but I'm not really intrigued and the information wouldn't be of much use to me anyway. It is important to remember that there are 8 different types of elemental souls, each of which is superior to elemental spirits. The highest rated of them are the true dragons, of which there are only 4 known to exist at the moment. By virtue of his name, Veldanava, the Star King Dragon, is possibly connected to more than just the earth and space components. Our own Veldora rules over not only water and wind but also space, a fairly big deal, despite how he acts. While Velzard the Ice Dragon is probably based on the element of water, the Flame Dragon is almost certainly based on the element of fire. Therefore, the true dragons represent the pinnacle of all elemental souls, and it is fair to assume that Benimaru had progressed into a state of existence akin to this. Despite being spiritual lifeforms, Flamesoul Ogres can interact with the physical universe because they have physical bodies. Calling individuals like him, God Ogres, wouldn't be pushing it at all given their endless lifespan. I was impressed by Benimaru's ability to carry off this unique evolution. His magicule count also increased significantly. I believe it was now higher than what Caroline claimed. Although it presumably wouldn't reach Luminous's level at its peak, I still thought Benimaru was a respectable rival. At this pace, I had some confidence that he could compete with the single digits, if not outperform them.
Good, then. Benimaru, you are my first option in that situation. Regarding the second individual,
I only had 2 options remaining because Gadra was already on the list. Xian and Diablo were on my list of potential companions, which conveniently brought me up to 4.
I'll send Gadra to act as our guide, and then I'll send my aides Xian and Diablo, too.
Laplass would therefore be taking me, Benimaru, Gadra, Diablo, and Xian.
I'm here for you, Sir Rimuru. Around me, you'll feel absolutely safe and sound.
Xian was grinning from ear to ear. Concerning the safe and sound portion, I'm not so sure. Xian as a bodyguard I knew I could trust, despite the fact that I had a number of concerns. When it came to combat, she bested Rizul, a stronger foe, so I couldn't leave her off the list.
Whatever kind of plan Guy may be planning, it is outrageous to subject you to this much suffering. I can assure you that I will put a stop to all your worries with you by my side.
Continually confident. I didn't see any excuse not to hold him to that, though. I want to depend on Diablo in situations like this because he's good at what he does. Despite being an elite squad for this mission, we couldn't let our guard down. I'd have the others here join us in the Empire later, they would be following shortly after. But before I could explain all of that, a participant started to voice her displeasure.
I humbly propose, Sir Rimuru, that I would make a better guide if you could. I sincerely hope you'll think about bringing me along.
It was Testarossa. She was presumably well versed in the geography of the Empire given that she was born there. She was establishing herself as a gifted negotiator and diplomatic officer, and there was no reason to be critical of her fighting prowess. In fact, she might have been tougher than I was. If you think about it, the only true advantage Gadra had over her was his familiarity with Yuki, so I could probably live without him. Even though Testarossa was much stronger than Gadra, particularly for his age, I still harbored the uneasy suspicion that Gadra wouldn't hesitate to betray us. In light of that, I didn't want to make a decision that I would later lament, but I also felt a twinge of sympathy for her. I might want to heed the advice.
Alright, then maybe I should take you in place of Gadra?
It would be a great honor.
I received a stunning, nearly dazzling smile from Testarossa. Fortunately, Gadra didn't appear to care either way, so let's go with that.
Right-o.
Interrupted Laplace.
Looks like you've decided, so I'm going to prepare. Please let me know when you're ready.
Yes, but for what are you preparing?
Laplace looked at me strangely.
Well, you know.
He is getting ready to visit our hot spring. Since yesterday, he has been using our leisure facilities as though they were his own, traveling between there and our dining hall.
Zoe appeared to be really upset about it. It's a good thing I had Laplace monitored.
Ha ha ha, so I guess you got me. You're such a stick in the mud, Zoe.
As if we wouldn't notice. Doesn't he truly have a lot of guts?
You're paying for that, right?
Hey, I'm only a visitor here, you know? How about we regard it as on the house for the time being? I'll pay you back by working hard for you guys.
It goes beyond just having guts.
Laplace.
Hey, it's not my fault this country is so charming from start to finish. Without a doubt, it is the most advanced in the world, even paradise. Who wouldn't want to kick back and relax while they're here?
He was now emphasizing how fantastic Tempest was in great detail. It wasn't exactly intimidating to receive such adulation. No, Laplace might not have been as horrible after all, I reasoned.
Sir Rimuru, he's deceiving you.
Benimaru, don't worry. He might attempt to trick Sir Rimuru, but I'm always keeping a close eye on him.
Oops. Shien and Benimaru jolted me back to reality.
Keep it in moderation, then, is that alright?
Oh, yes, of course. So yeah, I'll see you all soon, alright?
Laplace then hopped joyously out of the conference room. What a free spirit, I thought as we went on to the next subject.
Don't you feel a little too risky if there are only 5 of you in hostile territory?
I firmly concur. No matter how many wars we win, if something happens to Sir Rimuru, we will never recover.
Indeed, I am aware that a sizable force is not necessary for this decisive battle, but Sir Rimuru needs protection in case things go wrong.
In that order, Zoe, Gabble, and Hakuro all voiced their disapproval of my plans. While Laplace was present, they subtly remained silent about it, but now they openly expressed their concerns to me.
You know, Master Hakuro is correct. In addition, if need be, I'm willing to die for Sir Rimuru. You know, I'd kinda be a meat shield.
That's it for this video, guys. Thank you for always watching my videos and supporting my channel. Shout out to the new members of AnimeKouhai supporters: Mark Charlie Els, Hansel Ortega, Yellow Wally, Efrain Hernandez, Luga Gaming WTF, William Locke, Jordan Mersha, Wagging Tails, Jay Magsino, Paul DeGrassi. Thank you so much for helping out. I'll see you guys in the next video.